Hello everybody and welcome to the first Overwatch Comfy Couch cast. I can't believe I managed that in one sentence without messing it up, but there we go. Yeah, hi guys, welcome. This is a little bit more casual than probably what you're used to, a little bit more conversational. We've got Jake, we got Jaws. I almost called you Jack, but then do people know you as Jack on the Overwatch League? You got to put your mic to your mouth. You're professional. What are you doing, man?
I think people, well, it's because you've been sitting down here for ages.
True, actually. And I've been shouting at you for putting the mic to your mouth.
Yes, you have.
The entire time.
Brent's been awful for the last 5 minutes, shouting at us, getting us ready.
It's really lucky that we have a true professional like Brent to really hold the standards high on the couch cast.
Yep, true professional.
Yeah.
The guy who hasn't had a haircut in 3 months. Yep. Well, we're here to cast anyway. Or not really a cast, but it's more like just watching the game of Boston versus Valiant. Should be interesting. Hopefully Valiant are going to be creating some of the stuff. We're going to dive into the nitty-gritty stuff as well. We got like bits of videos and stuff that we can play up as well. But I think I'm really just looking for obviously some improvements from Boston, hopefully, and on the Valiant side, hopefully some adjustments being made towards their roster as well. What are we even talking about first? I can't even remember. I think we're actually talking about Boston and how they lost to Super's Genji, which some people think is embarrassing. Jake, you play with Super. Not that embarrassing. He's actually he's a bit of a gamer. He can play a lot of variety of roles.
He's known to play DPS. You know, I think I was frankly surprised to see him. You know, Overwatch League Genji. It's a different story, but you know he's been working. He's been grinding on the hero. You know, honestly, I wasn't completely shocked to see him come out. And remember back in the day, we had some ridiculous strat on Hanamura where we played 5 DPS and a Mercy on attacking and just trade kills, and it worked pretty well for us back then. So I think Super was on Genji.
Seth, what do you think about Super's Genji?
Oh, I was pretty clean. You know, I know he had to beg Krusty to let him play it, but I thought overall it was pretty good.
Cool. How long have you been behind there?
I've been. Sorry, I'm sleeping.
Okay, well.
By the way, for
yeah, no problem. Yeah,
actually makes a lot of sense.
He's staying with us for a short while. I see you, Seth. So
I thought a house got invaded by a wild animal, but it was
I mean,
just
Seth's close to a wild animal.
He's
so
very
it's
close.
not
Yeah,
far.
a couple of stages of evolution off.
Anyway, Boston starting 6 is pretty sick, I guess, if you want to call it that. Myeonbong's pretty sick anyway when it comes to those players on that roster. But I do want to see some changes in terms of the compositions they're playing. We were watching a game yesterday just on this very same couch, believe it or not. And their composition was questionable at times. I want to see some adjustments moving forward. I don't know how you guys feel.
Not a fan of you know, these teams. I get that the Genji is strong, but playing it with the Lucio and the Moira and the Rhine, I just don't see the synergy. And you know, Genji is a hero where despite being a strong hero,
what are you doing, Seth? Okay.
Despite Genji being a strong hero, I think, you know, he's a hero you want to build around. He's got the exponential scaling of dash resets. If you give him more energy, you give him more resources, he's going to do exponentially better. Whereas most heroes only get enabled in an additive sense. So I think it's a mistake if you're going to play Genji to not at least pick supports who can heal you properly. You know, give him a Brig, somebody who can keep him up in those long fights.
Goodness.
Yeah, the Zen kind of as well. He's just kind of stealing our food now. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, I got to remind everybody at home as well that we do actually live together, so we're not. Listen,
oh yeah, the
social distancing, it's being abided by. You know, we're being quite safe by doing this as well, because there's probably some of you gremlins in the chat just like, why don't this is a social distancing. Yep, I mean, we live with each other.
That's
okay,
what you're calling our viewers gremlins.
So yeah, let's talk about Shax's Tracer actually, because we didn't see that yesterday. When we were watching the Valiant, yeah, I can call them gremlins, Jack. Okay, it takes one to know one. All right,
Isn't that the truth?
But Shax's Tracer was one thing that I was gassing up, waiting for this entire week, and they didn't pull it out. Instead, they were running the Genji Ashe comp, which presumably they would have had some basis for why they were running that all the time, but it didn't work in their game against Atlanta.
You know, I think it's interesting because we did just see the Mayhem have a ton of success on that comp, but I do think that you know, this Tracer style is just more flexible, especially on a control map. You know, any sort of map where the distances are even remotely close. You know, Ashe is a hero who, despite being really strong right now, once again, she's heavily enabled by Orisa, by a meta without a Lucio. You know, that makes her sort of range damage a lot more efficient over time.
Yeah, you just don't really need space, really. I mean, if a comp you're playing against is more trying to focus the backline and actually just press you out, because you don't have a wrestler like an anchor tank, you're just not going to be able to do much on the Ashe at all. And half the job of the Ashe is actually setting up in an angle where you can throw dynamites, get massive dynamite hits, and have your Tracer follow it up. And are you going to get that against a dive comp? Probably not. You're not going to find any of the space, really.
Shax's tracer stats are actually nuts.
Yeah,
like,
they're kinda crazy.
He's got number 1 and number 2 in almost every category. Like, he genuinely is making a case for possibly the best tracer in the world right now. Like, maybe Striker would have something to say about that, or... I mean, give me some other
Super.
names.
He has a lot to say
Super.
about it.
All right, we see the Genji,
Well,
but
mate,
let's slow things down a little bit.
Actually blowing his cashew head out of proportion when it comes to the
I
comments.
know. I don't want to inflate his ego even more. I'm sorry.
You gotta cool it down with the compliments, man. Like, he's gonna be getting very big-headed about it. But yeah, the starting 6, they are actually changing things up. So Shax is gonna be in the lineup. I like this a lot. I think we all like this. Even in the pre-show today, I was watching like Custer, Johnny, everybody on the desk was just saying, we want to see Shax play. We want to see the Genji Tracer because it just seems like a better comp right now. And this tends to happen, I guess, when a new meta, new hero pools roll around in the first week. Teams just experiment a lot. And it takes a little bit of time to settle, but it seems like Valiant, I was a little bit scared that they were going to stick with the KSP-KSF duo of like the Genji Ashe comps because some teams can be quite stuck in their ways, but they're switching it up. They're running Shax, so no complaints.
Yeah, no complaints, especially with a tracer. Like, someone has to match Jerry too, right? I mean, Jerry's going to be in your backline permanently, or at least trying to be. I don't think you run KSP, especially in this meta when we expect dive, unless you really want to go like double shield and trying to force that like really hard. Because the Ashe, again, just doesn't get any space. I mean, I'd love to see KSP on Widow, but it ain't happening. Ever. Like,
well, not in
obviously not in this week anyway, because
without Widow, you literally cannot pick.
But
her,
I mean,
so.
like, just long range hit scan as well, just in general. Yeah, I did forget about hero pools last night I casted.
Josh did as well when I was casting him the other day.
It's because we haven't casted him for so long. It's like, oh wait, they're taking
normally
out
it's me with terrible memory and can't remember any of like the hero pools or the maps or the teams or the ability names or anything like that. But
sounds all right.
Yeah, I mean, the shoe was on the
same. I mean,
foot.
to be fair, there's a ton of abilities in the game. Like, it's sometimes hard to remember them all on the fly, you know?
I remember a classic moment where Josh forgot the name of Doomfist's ult during the World Cup last year.
Really? What did he call it instead?
I don't know. He called it like the Doomfist Super Punch or something.
Super Punch.
Yeah, I don't know. I had to correct it.
Sign me up.
Super Punch.
Oh.
So we talked about the adjustments from the Valiant to bring Shax in, which I think is a little bit straightforward, at least on Koth. Almost certainly going to be playing Tracer. But Boston, I was even more worried about the comps they were playing, the strategies they were playing, and they just got taken apart by the Shock, which, you know, obviously the Shock are an incredibly strong team, so can't put that entirely on comps, but I'm already happy to see what Boston's starting out with. They're playing a much more mobile comp. You know, this Lucio Moira, we're not going to see that. We're going to see more dive-oriented style that I think is just naturally going to be better, so Valiant maybe is trying to counter something that Boston no longer is running.
There's only the small difference in the tank, a D.Va and with a Sigma 2.
Yeah, that is interesting, actually. I like that the teams have finally like started to settle though on something that's a little bit more consistent for them. Like what Boston were running when they were running the Reaper Genji was just that was, I don't know. It's kind of questionable, but there we have it. Wow.
There it is. You just run through them.
Well, that was a good one. I mean, I do think though this is a composition matchup that is actually really favorable for the Valiant. The D.Va, you know, she's going to generate so much more value in these fast fights, you know, where the impact of Matrix is felt more significantly. Sigma is obviously going to outvalue long term, but yeah, here we go. Punk already going to switch back because he knows it's almost futile to play Sigma there. You're never going to get an extended fight against this all-in dive strap from the Valiant. So take the mirror match. Now the question is, can they come back? But not a major ultimate disadvantage. So I'm not super worried about Boston here. They can come back with a good fight.
He does. Bung Bung dies again first. Again.
Bro.
Well, you go back. Go again. Don't waste any time. Just everybody back. I think this is what a lot of teams have not been doing. Well, Shax dies, actually. Okay.
That's not too bad. He's on Tracer. He can,
what I was going to say is, I think a lot of teams recently have just not been backing off in like rather losable situations, because with these comps too, especially with the healers, you're not getting a lot of healing or value from Brig unless she's like in combat all the time. So if you lose them too, it's almost useless unless you're just like running at them.
Forcibly trying to lose something. Bit of advantage. He's got his blade already, actually. 20% difference in character. I don't know if they'll make usage of that timing.
Astro 10% off. That's the big number here. But
once again,
again.
To KSF as well. KSF's killed him twice in a row.
Well, yeah, that blade advantage is nothing wrong.
Yeah, meaningless. I mean, just look at Myeonbong's chance. He's only at 80, right? He's just been dying so much. I think, though, I don't really want to put that on Myeonbong because realistically,
you're playing Zen, dude.
Yeah, realistically, there's not much you can do about that, especially when, you know, yes, KSF is picking up these final blows, but you can tell, you know, it's going to be Dreamer and Shax assisting with that. So really, this is just the Valiant playing a way faster tempo, execution on point. And next fight's going to be extremely heavy on ultimates, but Valiant has point control. That's a major advantage here. They can just play this passively, let Boston come in and counterplay them.
They have
This should just be
time.
a team fight win for Valiant right now. This should just be round.
Yeah, this should for sure should be round.
Rally.
We'll see, though.
Halo's so close to Rally, bro. He's so close. Oh, he's got it, but he's discorded. So Lastro dies.
He's searching for targets. He can't find anybody.
Lastro doesn't trans. Actually, does go down to Jerry. I wonder if he intentionally let himself fall, looking for retake.
Well, retake
Makes the
this
most sense.
continent. I mean,
R.I.P. McGravy.
Okay.
it's like Valiant still want to fight this though, even though
They
Yeah.
probably shouldn't just back off and then just go again.
Jesus,
You've got
is so
time,
weak.
right?
Yeah, now
You have
really
99%,
shouldn't. That's
so-
huge from Fusions. He's able to hold on to the Primal, though. I really like that discipline from him because that's all they're working with. But as far as ultimates, it's one of the best, right? You can go in solo without too much support,
Yeah.
farm healer ults while you're doing it, but there's not much coming up next, and Lastro does have the trance to counter. This one's all going to be about the DPS, I think.
Are they going to let them cap for free?
Oh, God.
Oh,
that'd be so
my
bad.
Please don't.
Please don't. I mean, again, dude.
I mean, it is hard if you're playing Zen.
Oh, 100%. It's just so sad to see.
Fusions has got to do so much here with a Primal.
Yeah, he's going to get farmed. He's
He's
discorded. He's
discorded.
going to die.
Yeah.
He's making the right play, just backing off, trying to keep the delay going.
Yeah.
But
Distract.
Lastro is holding this trance so long.
Yeah, they just lose now. There's actually no way they win.
Yeah.
There you go. That's round over.
Well,
I mean, it comes back to the mid fight, right? Like that to me is the biggest deal. The fact that Valiant, they anticipate the mirror come out on the Diva. That's really intelligent, actually, because last time we saw Boston, they're playing these Ryan comps where you probably would want a Sigma to deal with them, to try and outvalue them long term. But I think the anticipation there of the dive mirror is actually really intelligent from the Valiant. They win the mid fight and then able to capitalize out with another quick dive kill into Myeonbong again. And Boston are just so far behind by the time they get the
I'm a
flip.
big fan of Shax's tracing, man. It's actually kind of mind-boggling that they didn't run him before, but
Yeah.
he's potentially one of the best tracers in the world. It's so clear, actually. Like, Jerry's not really a tracer player. He's a hit scan player, but tracer's not one of his strongest roles.
I've talked about this before, but I think Tracer and Genji are really interesting because oftentimes you will see a hit scan player play Tracer or a projectile player play Genji. But these are the two, I would argue, most unique heroes in those categories. So there's a huge difference between a projectile player who's great at all the projectiles and one who's a true Genji specialist, can really play it to the highest level.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of examples on the same category for Tracer. Very strong hit scan players, but Tracer, she's a unique beast.
I'm looking at where that Discord orb is going. It's just obviously permanently on Myeonbong to try and instigate.
Yeah.
There we go. There it is.
It's actually permanently on Myeonbong.
Permanently on Myeonbong. And then at least they trade. Like, they get Dreamer, which isn't bad, but still you run into the problem where you got no healing. So now it's like, what?
Yeah, Dreamer
You just take poke damage
does
now.
not
This is-
mind paying his life for that.
This kind of sucks. This kind of sucks. And now Valiant get the point. Unless Punk touches at the last second, but I don't think he does. No. He would take too much damage and you'd
You just
cost
feed
like half
there.
a
It's not
fight.
worth.
Yeah.
Just go for the reset, give him cap. And I like that Boston are
we're getting-
keeping map control. They're not giving up everything here.
Ooh. Very dies almost? No, he recalled, I think.
Okay.
Gets caught out. So, like, he got discorded that time. It was just quite out in the open.
The big one, but not. That's probably the second least effective kill there.
And
Kill
Myeonbong's
Myeonbong
dead again. Dude, they are so good at
I mean,
killing
dude,
Myeonbong. It's
but what
kinda
are you doing against
crazy.
Shax?
No, they're gonna
I mean,
pay
they're
with their
fine-
lives
they're
though,
fine
because they
with
don't
that.
have Genji, right? So they get the first kill, right? But normally that's where Genji comes in and
Yeah.
snowballs. But without him, right, you get the first kill, but you can't continue following it up.
As much as I want to play Zen, this makes me not want to play Zen.
Yeah, don't play Zen, please, in my right games.
Okay.
Um,
Yes, Jake.
especially
Especially you, did you say? Well,
not
okay.
in my games.
Okay.
Oh my
Thank you, Jake.
goodness.
Thank you.
That was actually so brutal as well. You're just doing him dirty on the broadcast. Oh. But Valiant just managed to retake that, even though that was actually Shax as well.
Yeah.
Just getting solo kills on the point when his team weren't even realistically in. I mean, he knew the limitations of his character, I suppose. He could always just go back to safety.
I feel it's a bit overconfident from Color Hex to be continued pushing
Yeah.
like that. KSF just came back off spawn and was the major reason the Genji dies.
Rally?
Alatsume?
Early rally?
Oh,
Myeonbong died? Okay.
dude.
You got to feel from Myeonbong. This is great coordination from the Valiant. Like every single dive is the same target.
Yeah.
There's
Your-
no subterfuge here. They're
Your
just
mental
dominating.
is
Yeah,
slowly
imagine though.
cracking right now, if you remember. Oh, Nastro Transcendence is 2. Yeah, they just lose this now because KSF has blades. Myeonbong's going to be able to get back and maybe get Transcendence off.
Color Hex has a free
Color Hex
blade.
has free blade 'cause no
Theoretically.
Nice reflect.
Okay. Winnable.
I mean, to start, one
But you
kill.
need more.
One,
It's good, it's good. Oh,
Oh.
Shax pops off again. Yeah, GG. Shax is alive, everybody.
He's actually like a 7th player.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding.
He's like James Bond.
Yeah.
True solo operator in the back line.
He's so
Secret
good.
agent
They do
Shax.
get the flip though on Boston. The self-destruct from Punk gets them a flip. So, but we're still looking at final fight though. So this is probably a map win for Valiant here.
Myungbo, by the way, just as a kind of an overall for the Boston, I think he's one of the best players on Boston. Like Myungbo as a player, just
I mean, this could also be a
crazy
case of
individual.
focus the carry. Like,
Oh, of course, yeah. It's also
It's also this is the comp. Like kill Zen. That's
Yeah.
game plan number
like,
1 in this comp. So.
Okay, what do we do? Focus the carry, or do we focus the Zen? Oh wait, he's both. Of
You
those
don't have to
people,
decide,
so-
exactly.
So we just kill him and he dies, and then we win.
Just
Okay.
eating them up.
There you go.
Eating them up.
There's map
Nom
one.
nom nom. KSF. That was quick. Yeah. So Shax and Tracer.
Pretty good, huh?
Shax on Tracer, man. When we were watching Valiant play yesterday, we were like, oh, please, please, please. At the halftime, I remember us saying, like,
Oh, come
please
on.
play Shax on
Let's
Tracer,
just see.
please.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it works out, obviously. Potentially the best Tracer in the world.
Yeah. I
Seth
definitely
has
think
been rummaging around our kitchen cupboards. I don't know what you've been.
He's-
What have you found?
Food.
Don't worry about it. Okay.
Don't worry about it. I'm
Well,
scared. Oh my god.
Well, it's clear which team is more comfortable playing this dive mare. What I'm scared of now for Boston is, in my estimation, I mean, I didn't like the Ash Genji comp with the dive, but Mayhem kind of made me a believer, right? Because they were so incredibly aggressive, despite playing a comp that sort of theoretically should be passive. They're just always initiating on Atlanta. They made it look possible, but in my opinion, that style is a lot more difficult to execute than the full dive. The full dive is a lot more straightforward. Jump the Zen, chain backliners with Genji. But if you're going to play the Ashe and try and change things up on Valiant, if you're scared of this mirror match, which they should be, I don't know. Like, I think it's only going to get worse trying to play a slower comp.
You guys couldn't see the cards at the end there, but Jerry had almost 30%, 29% of the team's damage on. And think how dominant that was from the Valiant. And like Jerry was almost invisible, especially obviously in the kill feed. It wasn't running many kills.
what
It was just
you
like
do,
follow-ups. But
in that scenario
it's like
as well.
you're doing 30% of your team's damage as Tracer. You can't really finish everybody off. You're relying on color hex fusions and Punk to kind of get the last bit of chip damage in. Oh man,
Think of how much of your team's damage relies on a Discord orb. I mean,
Yeah.
that one was dead every
Yeah.
fight at the start.
that's one stat I really wish was in the tab for Zen, or like was like the damage amplified.
All right,
with the Discord orb.
I'm being shouted out, so let's go to a break, and then
okay.
we come back from it. We're gonna have map 2, and maybe Seth will be on the sofa. Maybe he'll stop eating stuff in our kitchen. He's holding his mouth. I think he's bit his tongue.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by T-Mobile. Switch today and rank up to America's largest 5G network, T-Mobile. And by State Farm. For auto, home, or renters insurance, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. The Overwatch League is brought to you by HyperX. Unleash your style, unleash your fury with HyperX Fury Memory. And by Coca-Cola, the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Preparing for two teams this weekend is going to be definitely very difficult, especially since they're two pretty good teams. So obviously it means that we can't prepare for each team individually as much, but it just means we got to focus on our strategy and how we play on each of the maps that we play and really develop on that. And if we can do that, then I'm confident we can win.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the Comfy Couch Cast. Yeah, map 2 coming up pretty soon. And Fusion's just saying how hard it is to prepare for 2 matches in a week. Yeah, I guess that is pretty applicable as well, given that they wouldn't have had much practice time as well on this kind of patch. This hero pool rotation. Seth, what do you think of this?
Oh, what?
About the... Don't eat in the mic, dude. Don't swallow before you start answering questions, please.
Continue.
What do you think about teams prepping for 2 matches in a week?
That could be difficult, but job, do it. I don't know, Jake. What do you
It's
think?
your job.
It's
do
your
it. Oh
job.
my goodness.
It's your job, forehead. Just do it.
A hot
Coaching
take,
2020, baby.
a hot take that I'm not obviously not a fan of, but I think it's a pretty legitimate point. Like especially when you're in the mode of hero pools, right? Because not only are you trying to prep for something that you don't fully grasp yet because it's new, it's complex, you're trying to puzzle it out, but at the same time, 2 other teams might have different takes on it. And now, I mean, you just had what should have been the better prepared matchup, Dive Mirror. You just played against Shock against Dive. Like, theoretically, that was more similar to what they played. Now we're seeing a roster change for the Valiant, KSP coming back in. So now, if anything, though, this could be maybe more what was expected in terms of Boston. So maybe the prep can come in handy now. But I definitely agree. It's a challenge for any team. But, you know, the Valiant, the same can be said about them, you know, as far as prepping for multiple teams. So this is an even matchup in that sense. No advantage.
Well, what do you think they're going to run here then? On the KSP obviously screams to me they're going to run Ash.
Yeah, the Ash.
A long range hit scan just makes
We're going to Hanamura, right? Like it's
probably
very
one
different.
of the better long range hit scan maps, especially on first and second, because you know long range. But how do you think Kalex is really going to be able to deal with KSF and KSP? Because I think he was almost invisible for that entire Ilios.
I mean, part of the reason he was invisible though was because there was just no
Byungbong
there's
dead.
no peel from Byungbong. He was just
Byungbong
dead
dead.
every single fight. I think you're quite limited in what you can do just without having a Zenyatta because also I mean I don't know, it's difficult for the entire team because Zen is such a centerpiece.
You lose Zen like that, you're not winning the fight, not when it goes that fast. And I think the real problem is just the initiation speed. The fact that it's not one player outplaying another really at all. It's actually just the speed that Valiant are initiating. Like when you're in that mirror match, in my opinion, keeping the Zen alive is not actually possible if the other team gets the drop on you like that. Like if they're landing on your head, but
you have to
rather
look for
than
favorable trade
healing
kills,
the Zen, right? Like you have to initiate either at the same time or faster.
Yeah.
Or maybe, you know, play your Zen. Like Brig can try and maximize the time the Zen lives, but it's not forever. And you're just trying to get positive trades during that time. I don't like trying to peel in the Tracer Genji mirror. Those heroes are all about damage and snowballing. They don't offer defensive utility.
It's kind of crazy how much it does rely on, obviously, the Brig and Zen staying alive because there isn't much healing and there isn't much way to kind of come back in those fights. Because we saw Dreamer, he's like, okay, I'm happy. I just trade my life for Zen. It's like, it's actually whatever because we know you can't push. It's ridiculous how much of it hinges on, like you said, both teams going rather quickly. And because Valiant always had the jump on them, Boston just weren't able to do anything, which means Jerry, although 30% of the team's damaged, by the way, in Ilios, just couldn't actually do anything else. Color Hex could not do anything else. And then Myungbong was miles behind on Transcendent Charge as well. Like, it's, oh man.
Yeah.
Support sucks sometimes. Like, it really does. Especially if you're playing Zen. You get jumped on, you feel almost powerless. Unless your
A
team
little bit
ends up
harder to
trading
do
up.
though on Hanamura, just based on the long sightlines.
yeah.
100%,
Unless they get them in for free,
also,
but-
there is a very different comp. No one's playing Tracer now. This is actually like the last comp. I actually don't think it really matters what Jerry's damage is because it's not about damage efficiency in the Tracer comp. It is about finished kills. But in this comp, it is a lot more about damage efficiency. And now Dreamer is taking heat.
Dead.
What?
Discord orb, 2 right clicks to the face.
Yeah.
Easy
I don't
game.
think he was expecting Color Hex to be hiding now, obviously, but
Yeah, I mean, he took a ton of damage from Myungbong and Jerry. Color X gonna just clean that one up.
Jerry wins 1v1, but okay. Color Hex deflects.
Everyone's both
scare
ways.
there.
This is going to favor the attackers, though. Ash is a way bigger kill than Genji. Not only does Genji spawn faster, but now Ash is theoretically at least a bit uncontested. Only problem is Valiant, they're playing this Winston Diva, so they need to initiate.
Well, they're doing that. But Dreamer almost instantly dies again because he has Discord Orb on him.
Really struggling.
And Yellow S is his healers, so now he actually can't come back into the fight if Uprising continue pressure on him.
Yeah, that's a moment there, though. If Jerry's alive, for sure Dreamer dies. So it's actually massive that they had the Ash pick. It lets them keep the fight going. And when things break down on Hanamura,
That's nasty.
that's a breakdown.
That's really nasty. I like that Color Hex didn't give up positioning as well. Even despite the fact that they were going to be worse off when it comes to spawn advantage, he still kept control. He didn't want to give up space easily. Allowed Boston to get back in pretty handedly. So,
and strat-wise, I was saying how I like the D.Va when you're going to play the Tracer Mirror because it's all about mobility and finishing kills.
Yeah.
But I actually think the Sigma is a lot better. You're going to mirror Ash, right? KSP, he's shooting a shield half the time, but somehow he has an ultimate
on
advantage.
defense is actually
Smells like
kind
his
of
Jerry died, but
I agree
yeah.
with that.
I feel like this D.Va is like, yes, you can eat dynamite, but you don't do as much as D.Va herself, right? You're really about enabling your teammates.
For Color Hex, so just try and force out the tank. Nice dynamite.
What are they doing here? Okay.
They're trying to separate the healing
Yeah.
too, but I don't think it's because they just all back off.
Yeah, they want to get this behind position, ideally, so they get their Zen to back point, but it looks like...
Oh no!
He's gonna trans.
Okay.
There we go. There we
kind
go.
of-
That's not bad.
Kind of worthwhile, actually. I think if he survives.
He does. There's no way
no,
Color Hex
there's no way. They're
survives.
hunting him.
Two pieces chasing him.
Okay. Well,
Jerry's Bob could buy a lot of time here, though, so it's not completely over. Especially Genji doesn't mind
slow.
coming back in behind the enemy team. Like, I like this slow play from Boston. You use Bob to buy time. You got double support ult.
130. Hunt just gets fluxed here and they win. Actually, they might just win now because Dreamer's dead. Actually, saying that and Bob's on point. Yeah, they win. What are you doing? Dude, he was scared he was going to die. His team were going to let him down again. I'm doing it. I'm going to hit Q to make sure I don't die.
what?
Get me out of this place.
That looks like a misplay to me.
dying.
that's
be a fat finger.
Another fat finger, maybe. Like KSF's gonna have a reload blade.
Yeah, the Rally Blade is going to come in like a ton of bricks here. And Fusion's Primal is really the only thing. Well, you got Flux, actually. So Flux could be a difference maker, but I've seen so many Sigmas die to D.Va bombs while fluxing. So I'm watching the McGravy bomb right now. A bomb with a Blade Rally is going to be a lot of aggression here for Last Row to survive. Or rather, none bomb.
Okay. Well, they have rally advantage right now, so...
Like to engage.
Oh, okay, so... This
goes
free blade.
Okay.
Punk has Flux, though. He could Flux the blade. Oh, I don't know.
Weird bomb.
Oh my god.
Oh, what is this blade?
The damage.
This is actually pretty good from Boston, but Fusion's died.
Fusion's dead. And then they can Primal Rage him out. Dreamer with a two-piece off the map, maybe? Look,
You want
ready?
to-
Ready?
Oh,
Ready? There's one! There's one! Oh, he Flux!
nice.
Oh, he Flux is back on and Dreamer died! Oh, it's so sad.
Wow.
Genji's going to die too as well.
Nasty.
Oh, Color Hex boob so far he couldn't wall climb.
Oh, McGravy.
Super winnable for Boston.
Close. I think this Bob is going to
hard.
destroy them though. This is
really
like a low
hard.
resource Bob. Like
Low for resource Bob.
They push KSP out. Yeah, they killed KSP.
Look at Bob, dude. He's so scared of the shields.
Oh,
Wow,
true.
Boston.
it's just too much.
Hey, Boston, okay.
Nice.
Looks side of Grady couldn't actually carry the fight. That's kind of unlucky.
That bomb blade combo was really lackluster from Valiant.
He was
I think
actually
that was just
on
a
top of the self-destruct
miscommunication.
as well. Like, it wasn't like he was trying to get a flank when they were retreating from self-destruct. He was on top of the self-destruct.
I think Boston's rotation was just perfectly timed there. Like, it came in almost preemptively. But Valiant, they just didn't call off the play. And they needed to call off the play. Once Boston was like already in the high ground when they commit that bomb and the blade, both of those ults are going to a part of the map where there's just no Boston players remaining.
Pretty nice capture percent. Only 69%. Means
I mean,
they need it. You know,
winnable,
not much.
but-
Maybe one big team fight.
But it's still winnable, right? So.
Yeah.
For me, it does come back though to the D.Va. Like when you're playing Tracer in this comp, I love the D.Va because it's all about fast kills and the high mobility is super worthwhile. But if you're gonna play Ashe, that's pretty much admitting you want the long fights, extended damage
Sigma
trades.
maybe instead.
Sigma fits. Like I'm not really clear on the choice to play D.Va there.
Halo
without
blaming his
those
team.
heroes.
Okay.
My team always off the map.
Dude, you're winning.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anybody told him that he's
Yeah.
playing
He's like,
on,
wait.
Boston?
We held? Hang on a second.
Jerry was almost triggering me there. Picked Reaper at the start. Please God, Jerry, don't. Well, maybe you actually could now. This is the moment if you're gonna play a Broad comp.
Lucio Moira.
I like Torb Reaper.
Reaper.
Torb I like so
Color
much
Hex
more
is
than
Torb,
Genji.
dude.
If you're gonna play this comp, Torb is 10 times better than Genji.
I
in
think
this
they might be
comp.
trolling.
I don't believe anything yet. I actually would like to see like a sim comp here. No, probably not against these heroes are gonna get so much value off sim, but I actually think Reaper Torb is like It's kind of risky though, because that's comp. If you don't win fast, you feed ults like crazy.
Hey,
they're
Jerry
doing
needs
it?
to decide, please.
Lucio? No, just a speed boost out the gate.
Wait, Mercy is going to be like ultra greedy pick here, but Mercy's going to pay off big time against this Ryan
High
comp.
risk, high reward.
You're just going to damage his KSP, and he's
they are
never going
doing
to get
it.
touched.
Here we
Oh,
go.
they are doing it.
This is actually, I'm really worried about Boston right now. A damage amped Ashe is going to just feast on you. Look at that one dynamite for KSP. 30%. Okay.
That's pretty big, I'd say. That's pretty good.
It could be good. Speed boost in.
Look at that
to the
turret,
right
dude.
side. They're going to dive on them. As long as nobody dies.
They're trying to rotate all the way to point,
Yeah, yeah,
reset
yeah,
full
yeah.
cooldowns in the house,
Yep.
and then go for a point cap. But, well, KSP didn't find a dynamite on the second cross, so it's all really about this moment when they cross. Does KSP get close enough to Bob to finish it off?
Race against
gonna
time
be
before
so
the unblock. Go to
value
his
though.
coalescence as well. His coalescence is almost an insta-win. They get up before anything else.
That's the first ult that's going to come on. Like, oh,
Collex goes down.
It's so difficult to stay
KSP
alive,
double
though.
taps him.
KSP's uncontested. He's doing whatever he wants.
Oh, God, I hate shooting through those little windows as well, but like, damn. that
KSP
is
doesn't
such a
care. He's
sick-
a freak.
Yeah, he's actually
This could be a disaster for Boston.
freak
It's
of
already a
nature, dude.
disaster.
It's a disaster.
Aim is insane.
If he needs Bob here, yeah, just do it. Just keep the tick. Keep your tanks up.
Just do it.
Wow.
Okay. Retreating. Alex is back in like any second. Oh, the primal rage!
Wait,
what do you do?
Wait, Dreamer.
that's
Oh
good,
my
that's
God, he's
good.
50 HP.
Okay,
Doesn't matter, he
okay.
survives. Jerry clicks people though.
Reaper in this position, though. Imagine.
They've punished
Dreams.
this. McGravy says, like, you need to keep, please,
Last-
please keep McGravy alive.
Oh,
Thank you.
No, Lastro carry.
Thank you.
I actually think Rain is playing really well here with the beam, and as well the res on the Dreamer is going to get him right back in the fight. This is like a great moment to play Mercy. You've forced the full hold.
Oh, yeah.
The res is actually one of the best value abilities in the condition that you're forced to full hold.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Just
scale
do
well
it.
to second, but you don't care about second here.
Their win condition is one pick, and if you can mitigate that with the res, like,
Yeah.
especially on, like,
And you can
Hanamura
Valk
first.
Blade now as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can
I'm
Valk
so
Blade.
worried right now. Oh, the Sigil is
Oh, that
big.
catches
It's so big, dude. That beast's pretty big too, but look at their health bar already. They've almost got none of that shield left.
Just got
apart from the
chopped
unbound.
through the beam.
Case of my dying.
Oh, he's
I don't think
fine.
Matt's
He still
zero.
has Blade. He held on to it.
Don't
No
let them get a
support
tick.
ults.
No, they're done. It's done. It's done.
Oh, he's forcing a lot with this Blade. He gets one kill, but he forced a lot. Fade and recall, so both those heroes essentially out of the fight.
Oh, here you
One
go.
with color hooks,
Rain
maybe.
res.
No, he's waiting for the kill. It's smart.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Doesn't want to get
Easy.
stuck while resing or something.
Wow, I mean, I feel bad for Boston a little bit because they've gone all in with this comp now and they've only got a minute and a half left.
Oh, I think this is just so great from the Valiant.
Yeah,
like
it is.
you would never play Mercy in this situation unless you have to full hold, and that's what makes it perfect here. It's an all in on KSP, but this is the moment to all in. And what does Boston have going for them here? Maybe a big shatter, but I can't really imagine this Reaper ult getting much done. Like I just don't see it.
Reaper ult.
Wait, but this is pretty cool.
Reaper ults in 2020. Oh, God, it actually killed KSP. Are
Okay.
you kidding me?
Yeah, I love this res though. I
res
love
is
the aggressive
transcendent
res.
too.
Trans res, it keeps him up, no problem.
Oh, it's GG. Oh, it's so
Don't play
GG.
point.
Don't even give a tick
Point,
here.
contest
Yeah,
it.
Valiant
Nice.
looks so good, but they don't have ults left.
Shadow, solo shadow onto Dreamer.
Guys, too, actually.
Still winnable for Boston. Bob's gonna make it difficult.
Yeah,
Bob's getting damage boosted, dude.
smart. It's
Pocket.
destroying shields.
Hits dies.
Oh, and McGravy has his ult as well to counter. If Punk dies, Punk needs to die in Baby Diva. Oh, and McGravy's playing so well right now. Just live. Heal McGravy. Keep him up.
Okay.
Just don't die, McGravy. All he has to do is live. They're winning this fight.
Yep.
Oh, Boston. It
I
looks
cannot
so
believe this
good.
actually.
It's a
Jerry
full hold.
Soldier 2. No, watch this.
No.
Watch this.
No, I won't
Jake-
watch this
Jake,
because this game is
watch
not winnable.
this.
Turn the TV off.
All right, let's watch a Valk Blade against no ults and no break.
Watch this.
Well, let's watch
This is one for the
You guys
SI
think
not found
KSS
frag
gonna
reel,
press
dude.
Q here? I think so, actually.
This is one for the frag reel.
The double Q.
Blade.
Oh yeah, baby.
Blade damage.
Yeah,
boost.
baby, eat him up.
No. Young Bong reflected it. Oh, no.
That's
please.
beautiful from KSF.
Oh,
Get a GG in the chat.
the life of a Zen.
How painful, man.
That is so painful,
How-
actually. Imagine being a Boston fan and watching this. They're like, oh my god, that was actually so winnable.
I was so scared for them. You know, playing that comp is like, I like the idea, but I just think they should have been more patient. Wait the 15 seconds. See the enemy team comp. I think if you saw Mercy Zen, you would just go dive. Like,
Yeah.
you would just go dive and kill the Mercy Zen. They cannot sustain against like a Tracer Genji, just all-inning them
Just
over
make
and
the
over
switch
again.
immediately.
Yeah,
Scout it out, make
don't
the
play the
switch.
first fight. It's the most critical thing because when you play the first fight on Brine, Torb, Reaper, these beefy heroes, they feed ult like crazy, and then you're far behind. If you do switch, you're caught in that, you know, damned if you do, damned if you don't.
So, 3-0 maybe.
Well, don't even say that. I mean, that was close. Like, Boston did well on that first
on defense. Yeah,
they actually, dude.
But I also feel like Valiant beat themselves. Like they also Valiant plays this diva with the Ashe. Like play the diva with the Tracer, play the Sigma with the Ashe. In my opinion, like I'm not seeing. They could have gone even Valiant's way on the attack if that blade bomb combo wasn't like really off from them. I think Boston's rotation there was really sharp, predicting the play ahead of time. And
dude,
looking at this lobby screen, I am scared now.
Yeah, because they started to sub out at KSP and they're putting Shax in. You can see it. That's actually
could be anything.
brutal.
You know, could be Gig coming in to play Tracer or following Super. You know,
Dude,
you don't know.
he tweeted the other day he's gonna play Genji. So
we don't know.
Here we go.
Maybe.
KSF Echo and then Gig Genji. I'm ready.
Yeah, I just checked my phone. I'm getting bullied by Custer online for my hair. Listen, just because I haven't had a haircut.
Hey, end the cyberbullying right now. You look great.
Like.
You look great.
Thank you.
Do you know what your hair looks like?
What?
You know those birds in the background of Yoshi's Island 2?
Can you gas me up, Steve, instead of bringing me down, please?
No, but they're cute though.
Okay, you calling me cute? Listen, kings bring up other kings. I appreciate this. This couch, this is why I live with these boys. Anyway, we're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to have a game break, I think, with all the analysts, especially Custer, who's the one cyberbullying me. So we'll send it away. Don't go anywhere.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by ZipChair Gaming, the official chair supplier of the Overwatch League. What's up, one and all? This is our game break presented by Pringles. Wavy Zoe here, joined by Reinforcing Costa. And this is going to be a tough game break. I'm saying it straight out of the gate.
Let's just dive right in, shall we? Let's talk about Ilios. I think that's the easier start. We were all thrilled to see Shax back in the mix because he was, quite frankly, just walking all over the Boston Uprising reinforce.
Yeah, I mean, they sort of covered it on the couch cast, right? Like, what more can you really say about that match other than Shax had a field day and was just all over Myeonbong, and Myeonbong wasn't allowed to even play to begin with. So it's really quite difficult when your star player on the side of Boston Uprising is Myeonbong and you have a player like Shax with 14 final blows as Tracer on Ilios and 21 eliminations, just able to walk over the side of Boston Uprising and get so much value and have such a big impact. Like, Jerry, okay, we love him, he's cool and all, but like, he can't stand a chance against Shax. So it's quite difficult for Boston Uprising because they're trying to tap into this dive composition with the Tracer and Genji, but they're just clearly outclassed by the side of Los Angeles Valiant. And at that point, if you're the coaching staff, right, like, what do you say to your team? Like, do we play McCree here, but then McCree isn't like really effective in this meta? Do we bring out a Sombra perhaps and try to counter? Like, you could go a few different directions, but I would like to say that Tracer Genji arguably is the meta right now, and you're being outclassed on possibly the best composition in the current meta. It's quite difficult to adapt to that Valiant comp in that case.
Well, we're heading to Anamura now, and Costa, I know that one's grinding you gears. So I just want to give you absolute free reign. Maybe let's talk about the first half, though, and how Valiant conducted itself.
Yeah, so I like... McGreevy said in his Twitter yesterday that he didn't like how he played the Sigma, and I agree with that. I think if you're playing the Sigma with an Ashe versus a Tracer, it's really hard to do anything. But now, we go into Hanamura, we look at the opposition's composition, and they're playing Ashe, Genji, Sigma, Winston. Like, they're playing the standard. You should go back to the Sigma. Instead, they play a Winston Diva dive with Zen Brig healing. You see, they keep trying to go forward, but they just get poked, so they don't have any viability. And they're also playing an Ashe. It's not even like they're playing dive because they took Shax out and they put KSP in, so they're not even playing dive. So some interesting compositional choices by the Valiant. They're not looking at their win condition based on what's going on the Boston Uprising side. But then we go to the second half of this attack, and we have it even worse on the Boston Uprising side.
I do want to quickly add here, though, that in terms of getting value out of that Genji, since that was a specific switch they made for this map, KSF's Genji took 3 minutes and 26 for his first blade to get that up. That's how little they actually got done with that comp. But yeah, now we're switching to the second half, and that one actually just as its entirety made it into our crunch time, presented by Pringles Wavy. Reinforce, walk us through it.
Wait, do I have to do this?
Sure.
I covered Washington Justice yesterday, and I had my entire spiel about Hanamura. Look, okay, yesterday I was angry. Today I'm just disappointed.
Okay.
And I'm just going to let Costa. I'm just going to let Costa take the reins on this one.
All right. So let me walk through. Okay, so when you're in these overtime situations as a player, when you come out, you have 4 minutes. Usually, you just wait the 15 seconds to see what the opposition is playing. If Boston had waited, they would have seen that the LA Valiant is playing a Mercy Zen Ashe. You need to dive this. You need to get in the face of this. Instead, what they do is they play a Torb, which is the complete opposite of what you want. They rush in, go in the right side, and you can see their strategy. You can see the gears working for them. They're trying to get to flank. If they get to point completely unhindered, it will be okay for them. But what happens is they get to the point, but they get picked. Of course they get picked. They can't control KSP on the Ashe. They can't control the Mercy. Every time they get a pick, it just gets rezzed again. They're not looking and thinking about their win conditions against the composition they were playing. And you just saw why it was a massive issue. They couldn't deal with anything. They couldn't get clean kills. And then they get full held and throw away a map that was easily winnable.
Well, here's the thing, though. You guys are both former pro players. Like, at what point does that switch need to happen when it's just not working out?
I mean, I would arguably say that
that comp should have never left the gates.
Well, yeah, I mean, it sounds harsh to say that, but like, you should be pretty open-minded about what composition you're playing and what your win conditions are, because ultimately you're trying to find every little advantage you can where possible, and often that comes from compositions. Now, in 2020, sometimes if you were playing a Ghost composition last year, that comes in the form of abilities, and maybe you find an advantage in your Zarya bubble timings or Diva matrices or whatever, right? But now with hero pools introduced, we look at these compositions way more strategically and like big picture, and that's where these adaptations need to come in that Costa was talking about, right? So I like what he said about Boston Uprising. Like, you're leaving the gate and you're playing a very reactive composition, and almost straight off the bat you need to realize that this is not the time to play a reactive composition when you're facing a Sen Mercy and an Ashe. That is when you have to be proactive. And I realized that they probably had a plan on Hanamura Point A, and they were like, hey, we've practiced this Torb Reaper composition, but with what the LA Valiant are playing, we need to change our minds, and we need to be open-minded about what we're playing and make that adjustment faster. So at the end of the day, if you want to bring up some kind of positivity, the LA Valiant, they did their job. Like, they full held, they played, it was a good defense. They played the Sen Mercy, they had some nice rotations, we got some nice resurrections coming off with the help of Sigma Shields from McRavia, etc. So there were some positives there. But I think what we're trying to say here is that the Boston Uprising made it really easy for the Los Angeles Valiant. So at the end of the day, a bit disappointing from the Boston Uprising, but well played from the Valiant.
Absolutely. Well, let's see if the Valiant can close this one out with a quick 3-0, or if the Boston Uprising will try to crawl back into this match. We're now heading into a very quick break, and then we're sending it back over to our comfy couch.
The Overwatch League is brought to you by Pringles Wavy. Big crunch, big flavor.
Online, uses the bomb, not going to be able to find any kills with that specifically, but still does manage to find Lastro, follows up for a second kill now onto Rain.
好焦点点的时候，一个多点朋友直接交出去，一个冰墙挡住多点，白说打3打2个，好久不见的王子啊！但是这一波基准交完了。哦呦
Shielding going to be expiring now as the bomb goes into the back from Brisson, manages to find a pick on the KSP.
换了，没时间了，那换啊，换球啊！哎呦，又是一枪。
Everybody, welcome back to the couchy, comfy couch cast.
Nice. Good job.
So
Well
I'm
done,
trying
bro.
not to laugh off camera, but yeah, I mean, I knew I was going to mess it up eventually. It's a lot of words. And
No, it's not. It's 2.
Can you
3.
count? Sorry, what are you talking about?
3.
Anyway.
Somebody give me an idea.
Yeah, well, welcome back from the game break. If you're just joining us, a little reminder, we're going for a more casual approach when it comes to this game. Just a couple of guys hanging out and talking about the game. So hopefully it feels like, you know, you're joining us during COVID, maybe. Some people need that, you know?
Yeah.
COVID's been hitting some people pretty hard.
Yeah, we have to live it together for God knows how long at this point. So yeah, it's hitting us a little bit harder than most, I feel.
It's hitting Jack hard, actually.
Been a struggle for us all.
Anyway, Valiant in Boston. Route 66 is the next map.
Anyway, find something to talk about quick. Route 66, quick. Okay, subject changed. Yep. Yeah, Route 66 is the next map. Jake, you said, when we saw it was Route 66, you said, I'm really worried for Myeongbong.
Yeah, this is, I mean, I know it wasn't that long ago, but Ilios did happen, and, you know, Myeongbong didn't get to play so much, so I'm hoping that maybe he can't. Maybe it's escort map should be a little bit easier to take position. It's not mirrored, so even if Valiant wants to play fast, there's a little bit more potential for a peel strategy. But I am worried. Shax just melted them on Tracer in the first map. So I think Shax and Dreamer and KSF as well, those three, right? They're just so quick on the initiations. And when McGravy can play D.Va in that comp with Tracer, he just looks great. I was questioning it when it's with the Ashe, because it's not about the D.Va really, it's just about the synergy in the comp. But in this full dive comp, wow, this looks like the Valiant, looks like their peak form. You know, I'm used to seeing KSP as the carry and the slow hit scan based compositions as their best, but that doesn't seem to be true today.
I think that's probably why they stuck with it yesterday as well, though. You know, why they were running KSP and KSF, which is a tongue twister in itself. But we're going to be heading into the game pretty soon as well. You can see the players are raring to go, getting ready into Route 66. And yeah, one map away until Boston while the series is over. I do feel bad for Boston as well. I mean, these qualification matches for the Countdown Cup, they all matter at the end of the day. I think Boston in particular is the one team that really want a good showing in this tournament. They need a good showing, let's face it as well, because they need to be as highly placed as possible just to have every chance of getting potentially those extra wins. So it's a tough scenario for them.
And, you know, for a team like the Uprising, their current position in the standings, it's even beyond bonus wins, right? Because they're, no matter what, even if they literally win out from here, they're not going to be in a great position come standings. For me, it's actually about the emotional experience for them right now. Like, are they coming into playoffs, right? Like, they're going to be, if they're in that low position in the standings, as is pretty much expected, are they going to be able to come out of those, like, really difficult early moments in the tournament, just staying alive? You know, it takes a lot of confidence to do that, especially, you know, if things are changing, teams are hiding on playoff strats. It feels like a team like the Uprising seems like way less likely for them to be holding on to strats like that, to have things in the back pocket. They're kind of putting everything out there on the line.
So what makes... Sorry, Jack, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it's really cool that Valiant can flex two completely different styles of comp with KSP, like you were saying, on the slow, long-range hit scan, picking people off, chunking people out, and they can also show on this. Whereas Grady, Dreamer, on dive tanks, and then Shax and Tracer, who just runs people down. I think it's really good look for the Valiant going later on.
I'm not a fan of this. This should be really easy to dive, so Boston, this is a major vulnerability. Like, they can exploit this. Absolutely, they can exploit
Well, at least Myeongbong can hide in the spawn so he doesn't get insta-killed. That's always a good sign.
It's very risky. It could pay off. Could pay off is the key word. Yeah.
I think Rain's been doing exceptionally well, actually. Just this match as a whole, I think.
Boston is struggling to get in here.
Mercy's pretty clean.
Yeah. The Mercy's so far gone unpunished, you know, getting a lot of value.
This is where Jerry has to pop off.
They want to go for Lastro, but Jerry's eating so much damage.
Look at the peel. The peel is insane.
Yeah.
Rain almost went down there as well, but
they collapse on their... Look, they collapse on their backline as well.
Yeah. And then Punk loses mech, so he can't follow up with any damage either, so you just lose now if you're Boston here.
Oh, Myeongbong with the
gets revenge, but look at this.
Easy win.
Rez is out now, and the crucial moment though here is that Valiant, they've lost that forward train position. They're still trying to hang on with some DPS, but if tanks jump to the train right now, they're gonna get counter dove. So, Dreamer does make the move, but yeah, the fight comes in immediately from Punk.
Color Hex is flanking here.
Oh,
This could be big. Boss one doesn't get anything.
Was Punk even
Color Hex
looking
is on
at
the
him? I don't think he
backline.
was. Oh. Look like he threw that onto the side. Oh, Color Hex, don't lose this, bro.
He's pocketed by Mercy.
Oh,
my word.
That's a hard win.
You need to like instantly burst him to get that kill.
Ooh,
But KSF does exactly that.
Rez is going to be off as well in a second. They might be able to get the Rez on Shax.
Yeah,
Honestly,
Oh, no, they're not going to be able to get
the
it
health
anymore.
is so bad for Boston, but the Brig is killing so much.
Okay, so, well, there it is. They still hold.
Yeah, I was like, oh, finally, Boston are getting the car moving, and then, oh, well, no.
2 minutes, by the way.
This Conscious is so greedy from the Valiant with the Mercy. It's almost crazy levels of greed. I just want to see Boston go trade like maniacs with this rally. Like, just send it down mid. Try to kill the Mercy. Force the trance out early. Just outlast. You have a rally. You're so powerful. They just seem like lacking the confidence right now.
Yeah.
Saving Bradley for this corner push, maybe. Like, I feel like they need to rally in early and then help Color Hex just set something up pretty big. But obviously, the last row has Transcendence, right?
You have to respect some of
there
the
it
goals
is.
coming out now, though.
Yeah.
Rally.
Okay, so Rally's out. Blade, Transcendence, match, flowchart. Oh!
Pulse one gets 8 by McGravy.
Pulse one gets 8, so Transcendence gone.
Yeah.
And now Color Hex uses Blade, and it gets.
So the thing is, Lastra
as
still
well.
has his Transcendence.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Flowchart, here we go. He uses
He's using it early. They need to win this fight outright.
Well, they do now.
Needs to be quick. Color Hex has Blade,
quick
but
win.
Remember instead. There's
Color Hex
no way.
probably can't get full healed, so yeah, he's probably not going to commit. Fusion's Primaling, they're going to commit. It's all in now.
Fusions, you beast.
Oh, but that's the kill from Color X.
Yeah,
He's
and
going to
he
Blade.
use Blade.
I think does he have a moment to Blade here, though? He's probably waiting to try and get some support.
Oh, no. Surely not.
This is still good, though.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
Mercy is power play, your spawn advantage. I actually like this commit from Boston, especially because Color X is able to hold on to the Blade. It's going to be all about the self-destruction in this fight, though.
Oh, Shax almost got one
Shanks
clip
almost
there.
died, yeah.
Yeah, almost got one clipped.
Color X has a great opportunity to punish the self-destruct from McGravy.
Oh, he's waiting for the defense matrix. Oh, Miramon just dies anyway. Doesn't matter. And then he sticks.
Wow.
Shax is dead, but he's still pretty good at the game.
Yeah, he's cool with that, though.
Yeah, he cool with that, yeah.
He can just
You
go...
just kill 3 people and then you die. It's like whatever, your trades are 2.
Even
right?
if he
You get
doesn't
back
get
from spawn
res,
super
yeah.
easy.
Nah, there's no need to res.
Actually,
So
it just doesn't
easily.
matter.
No, yeah. It's
Way
such a
too
waste,
risky to
actually,
res
to
him.
res a Tracer.
She's back anyway, right?
Yeah.
Now, Color X still holding on to this Blade. This is still... The moment gets better and better, to be fair. Right now, there's no support ults at all for the Valiant, so... This could be the timing. Couple armor kits on the Color Hex should be pretty durable on this Blade.
Cookies.
Blade.
Cookies thrown in.
Color X still has Blade, by the way.
If the Brig dies here, you just lose, surely. Oh,
That's what I'm talking about, though. The punish on the Diva Bomb. That's exactly what you want out of Blade. Get the free dash reset.
It's not an ideal Blade, though, is it? He didn't get great value. Okay, Lastra goes down. This is still winnable for Boston.
Yeah, but KSF is doing so much right now.
Oh, they res Lastra. They res Lastra.
They get res on Lastra.
Dreamer's Primal. He's going to destroy them now. I don't think
Dreamer
there's anything they can
Listen,
do.
I was just trying to be positive, okay?
Hey, I understand that. I know, appreciate that about that, Bren. I appreciate that about you, but
Rally,
I think
but
they
it's
win this now.
surrounded by a gang of
everyone's
Valiant
alive.
members.
Kill the Brig, please. Okay, she dies.
Everyone's
the raid
alive.
boss,
Unless
right?
Jerry just goes,
Wait.
Okay, okay.
But wait.
Both supports down.
But wait, there's more.
Punk's alive. Wait, they're going to win, actually.
They win,
Bang has a
yeah.
chance when he gets back.
Dude, I always believed.
I
always
never
believed.
doubted for a second.
Never
Oh, no! Shax might clutch this.
Don't do this, Shaq.
Shax might clutch this.
He's done it. He's done it. He's done it. He's actually done it.
No.
They're
Trance
fine.
is crushing here. But wait, wow, we still got a fight going on. Although both teams on Lucio, so. Myunbong.
Myunbong's revenge.
Myunbong's pissed.
Myunbong is so angry.
He's been
right
jumped
now.
on too many times.
Please pocket me, team.
Okay.
Please don't tell me Boston lose this.
They
They lose.
Losing it.
So, Bren, how did you feel about believing?
I still believe.
No, do you? Do you?
KSF has Blade. McGravy has Mines. This is ending. This
It's
is
done.
ending.
Everybody, close your eyes. It's finished.
McGravy is no longer moving. One hand
McGravy is
on the
no
mouse.
longer moving.
Come on,
McGravy is no
McGravy.
longer
Press
winning.
M1, please. Thank you.
And there it is. Bren believed and they lost.
Okay, but
nice,
still,
Bren.
the overall map is still winnable.
I mean, yeah, that is true. That is true.
Factually correct.
Factually correct.
Actually correct.
Any
Maybe not
fact
actually.
checkers in chat? I think you need to fact check that one. Yeah, Dreamer. Wow.
Dreamer, I mean, what else can we say but wow? Like that. What even happened in that fight? It all came back actually because Jerry and Color Hex, each one of them picked off an enemy support. Right?
Yeah.
And you lose 2 supports at the same time like that. That is how that fight was even possible for the Boston Uprising, how it was even in consideration. So
For sure.
And what a clutch from Shax too, that pulse bomb. That's like the reason, right?
So
he gets,
nasty,
what is it?
both
Triple,
the tanks down.
How did that even
Yeah.
stick? He like threw up into the air and they were coming back down.
It was a hammer
Clutch,
slam.
right?
Crazy.
Oh, hammer slam.
Hammer
yeah.
slammed him, and and
So
everybody
he's
went
got the
up.
arc just perfect on it.
Yeah,
What
it
was
was
that?
sick,
Is it
actually.
called, it's not called the hammer slam, is it?
It's the seismic
It's
slam.
the power driver. but-
Power driver.
Seismic slam is Doomfist.
Seismic slam is Doomfist.
Yeah, but
Playing too much
hammer
DPS.
slam
That's
sounds
okay.
way more funny.
Yeah, Seth's actually got the Wikipedia
Do people even call
page.
I'm all about the slam, man. I'm all about the one syllable call outs. It's just the truth.
Yeah.
Look at these 360s from Punk. Sharp and clean 360s.
That's
Love
a
it.
sign of a player who's ready to win.
You've been playing a lot of Diva if you do 360s like that.
He's running that
What's the-
32,000 effective
Do you know that? Do you
DPI.
want to know the mathematical term for that? It's the frustrum. It creates a larger frustrum if you're able to rotate the matrix really quickly.
Frustrum.
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 It's like the area of effect from a volume move through space.
I had to double my
pretty cool.
EDPI because of my finger trying to play Overwatch. I went from 2,000 EDPI to 4,000.
It's probably a good idea if you literally cannot move your hand.
Yeah. And you still can't play the game.
Don't
which
try
is
and play like
kinda
Carpet.
crazy,
Yeah, I
to
mean,
be
it doesn't
honest.
help me get good at the game.
Yeah.
All right, speaking of being good at the game, though, Boston, they're going to need to be absolute savants to hold this one off, especially because they're not going for the forward fight. This is basically one fight territory.
I hate teams not holding like the spawn doors on this
Yeah.
map. I really don't like
Problem is,
that.
if Boston haven't practiced it, it's just like feeding.
For
So
sure. I
it's
know, I
like,
totally
If
agree.
they're not 100% ready for
But-
it, it's literally just throwing if
Hurts
they
me
do
so
it.
much.
so.
They get
But
essentially
look how much they
fights.
pushed.
No, one fight. This is a
Now
one.
it's one fight.
Yeah, oh, now it
100%.
is.
Boston
Now
is,
it's one
but
fight, yeah.
actually, this is better than going for a fight at the choke, in my opinion. Play the one fight in OT is actually not that bad. Because you play the best fight. You play one good
The
fight.
perfect peel and the
Shax,
M1
though.
guys.
Shax.
How is he even here? And he's
Shax
doing-
in the back line. He's 2v1 them.
He's got a pulse bomb. How?
Please.
Someone nerf Shax,
Okay, they're
please.
armoring the
armor
baby
pack.
diva. Multiple armors on the baby diva. That's smart. Keep Punk up. If he remakes, that could be huge.
He has a pulse bomb.
Oh, no, no,
4
no.
a.m. Oh, no.
It's not me in your house. It's Shags. You gotta actually be worried this time.
Oh,
Shax is
my
actually
word.
just eating him for breakfast.
GG.
It's over.
It's
All
over,
right.
yeah. It's done.
Yeah, well.
It's done. That wasn't really a fight, to be honest. That was half of one because Shax 2v1 to the back line.
Just as the match began with Myeonbong dying instantly, so too does it end.
and
Yeah.
the flex at the end. All
I
right.
mean, you can't be mad about that time.
GG's.
Like, that's
Circular in a way, isn't it? The way it began, the way it ended.
Well, what
a
do we-
flat circle.
Shax bombing up.
What did we talk about at the very start? Shax potentially one of the best
Shax
traders in the
coming
league.
in, right? Yeah, that was the storyline. We
Yeah.
said it in the pre-show. We said it in our pre-show, the better pre-show, if I do
Better
say
pre-show,
so myself.
true,
the better
true.
pre-show.
Yeah,
that should be the
true.
brand name.
The
for sure.
better
Better
pre-show. No, that's actually BM against the desk. I feel bad.
Custa was cyberbullying you. It's time we get
Yeah,
it back.
Custa was
Casters stand
cyberbullying me,
together, all right?
actually.
Casters stand together on this.
Exactly. That's the was bullying me.
Look at that. 63% kill participation off Shax, which is just absurd. Like, the guy is easily one of the best tracers in the league we have currently.
So I've received word that there is a interview that's in the making. I think it's with McGravy, and he's pumped on the LED lights, the disco lights
of course
as well,
he has.
ready for his interview. It's not ready yet, so we can just keep talking. But
Giving you a little teaser, a little trailer.
yeah, I want to give people a little bit of.
A
Oh, it's
trailer.
okay.
Excited
Oh, the
about.
interview's with KSF, not McGravy. But McGravy, you know,
Why does he have the
dude?
He's like, celebration, baby. Let's get
He's
it.
a showman, you know. He's
I
like,
respect it.
He's just chilling, I guess. I don't know. I've got the same LED lights, and it's attached to my TV remote. Like, but not intentionally. It uses the same. I don't know what it is. Like infrared.
Oh, it's the same band.
So
Yeah, the
whenever I
infrared,
do
yeah.
volume down, it goes into disco mode in my room. And I have to.
It's the opposite of what you want when you're turning the volume down. It's like, I want to chill and like, you ready for bed?
Yeah.
Nope.
Disco
Every
lights.
time I
Nope,
have to
disco
change it back.
mode.
It's so annoying, actually.
That's
but
hilarious.
Yeah. This my room is filled with mirrors, I think. Is that how infrared works?
That's not how infrared works
It
at
is,
all.
I think.
Probably.
Yeah. Mirrors reflect infrared.
But like, it being on the same band, like the same frequency band, doesn't have anything to do with the mirrors.
But it would like if I've got mirrors along my wall and I press the.
If I don't understand what you guys are talking about, I don't think you guys understand what you guys are
Listen, I got a in physics.
Oh,
Are
yeah.
they- oh, was that in GCSE? Oh, GCSE.
All right.
Okay,
So I know
okay.
about my
right.
radiations.
Okay, that's pretty
You know
cool.
about
That's
infrared
pretty cool.
radiation.
So is the,
all right.
is the interview ready? Or? Can we,
Let's just get into
this
the
along?
physics lesson. Like, we don't need this interview. Like, come on. No?
Oh, I'll play with a magic Dreamer.
Oh,
That's what
okay,
we're gonna
Nice,
talk
there
about.
we
yeah.
go.
So Dreamer's
Saved.
Wrap it up.
actually saved. Thank you, production.
Wrap it up, casters. Wrap it up.
Dreamer had, I think, a pretty good game, but not statistically is like, if you look at his numbers, they're not that great. But he was the reason that they set up a lot of these team fights. He was the reason that Myeongbong was dying first in every single one of these
He was dying second in the fights, but after Myeongbong, he was feeding himself into the enemy team so he can get enough damage down for then another DPS to finish him off, finish Myeongbong off. Like, yeah, not statistics-wise, but he was creating a ridiculous amount of space.
I was talking about this off stream as well, where I think Dive, as far as when he gets into statistics, of all the compositions that have ever been meta in Overwatch, Dive is probably the least important in terms of how your statistical performance is. You know, when you think about how a kill actually occurs in Dive to get Genji his dash reset, let's say Genji does a dash melee. Okay, there's 80. Winston lands on you for 50 and zaps you for 2 seconds before he dies. That's like another 80, right? And then Tracer comes in with some left click and blink melee. Everyone is doing a very small amount of damage, but when you're instantly bursting targets like that, it's not about the raw damage performance.
Numbers.
And that's why Jerry had this 30% Tracer damage, but they're just getting destroyed. It's because the team, it's not about the actual damage that one player deals. It's about syncing that up onto one target and crucially being the first initiator. And that's where your main tank really defines the pace of the game. And the unblockable damage from Winston is like the most guaranteed damage you're going to get in this comp. So having a Winston to lead the charge and consistently land on Myeongbong's head, there's a reason Myeongbong can't play the game, and it's because he's getting constantly dove by Winston, Tracer, and Genji.
Any final thoughts, Seth?
I was gonna, yeah.
You know, there's a mic.
I got 2
This
microphones.
seems
Sorry.
like a bad idea.
Dreamer good, Jack's good. GG.
Oh, nice.
Well, there it is. Wow,
Man,
a few words, but they were very
Can't
impactful.
disagree.
I think the flight fried his brain or something. I don't know.
We'll put that on your tombstone, Seth. Very cool. Very
Well,
cool.
I guarantee you. There will
I'll
be
put
an
GG on my
interview
tombstone. What do you guys
soon.
think?
Put GG on your tombstone?
That's a good one, right?
You don't want a
Okay.
GG easy?
No,
Not an easy?
No, I'm respectful.
Gamer till I
okay.
die.
Respect.
Gamer till I die.
There's going to be someone out there that maybe, I don't know.
Someone's definitely
like
had
in
GG
like
on the
60
tombstone
years'
already.
time.
I feel like I want my tombstone to be a little funny.
Someone's
you know?
definitely got it on their tombstone right now.
But like in 60 years.
Someone Google it.
In 60 years' time, I reckon it was like gamers are like the norm, you know? Gaming
Wait,
is just because like gaming's like recently become. It's turned into a
It's
podcast.
just popular.
man.
It's just popular.
But
Everyone's
like,
doing
gaming
it.
used to be like this nerdy thing, and now it's like this niche nerdy thing where if you gamed, then you're kind of cool because it's
What?
like because it used to be
No, you're-
uncool. You know what I
It's
mean?
the opposite. Like, what do you mean? It's not turned
Well,
into a
speak for
niche.
yourself, Jack. I
No.
know I'm cool.
Okay. There's. Yeah, but you're saying if you say something's niche, you say something that applies to a very small crowd of
Dude,
people.
listen. When I
So
say
it's gone the
words,
opposite
Jack,
way around.
I don't know. What's
No,
going
you
on
just
in my
don't.
mouth.
When you say words, Brent.
All right,
you don't
quick.
think.
Let's get rid of the Scrabble dictionary here. Let's get back on track.
What is on track?
What is on track? I
don't
don't
know.
know.
What have we
I was
ever been
hoping
on
I would
track?
say that, and like there'd be something to follow it with, but there's not. Well, we do. You know, eventually there'd be something to follow it with.
We can talk
but,
about my finger. It looks like I'm very posh.
No.
When
That's
I'm
what I
like,
was thinking. That I'm like, this is
Yeah.
perfect for you. You
'Cause
know,
it's, like,
just
so
let's
British.
get the tea out. Like, get rid of the mic. We don't need it.
Yeah,
Let's
like
just
with
sip
the little
tea on
finger
broadcast
out.
for 30 minutes. Thoughts?
I'm actually
I
down.
mean, you guys should be down, right? Like,
I'm-
I'm the one. I can't believe I'm the one to suggest this.
I'm not the biggest fan of tea. I'm not going to lie. I actually
What?
prefer coffee than tea. I don't mind a tea. A good tea every
prefer
now and then's
coffee
fine,
over
but I prefer coffee over tea. Yeah.
That was the most British I've ever heard you sound. I think in all the words you've ever
You
said
prefer
in front of me
coffee over
was
tea.
that
You prefer-
exact phrase.
You prefer coffee over tea?
Unbelievable.
Excuse me? What?
Brennan Hook.
Unbelievable.
Some sort of treason going on here.
I don't know what
know.
this. Yeah, I mean, is the interview happening?
No, I think they're actually delaying it so we can just talk ourselves into insanity.
They're loving
at
this.
point.
They're loving this. People at home, they're dying. They're loving it.
Oh, okay. Boston plays Atlanta next week. What do we
Okay.
think's going to go on there, huh?
Well, given that Atlanta basically is locking in the Tracer Genji 24/7, I mean,
It's going to be pretty hard. They're going to have to find a way to stop Myeongbong from instantly dying, or at least trying to trade kills back a lot quicker and being a little bit proactive, which we were talking about earlier. And you said that, you know, if your backline is getting dove or you're getting dove first, one of the best ways to react to that is actually be quicker than the enemy team and just dive them a lot more proactively.
yeah.
I will say, one of the good things that comes out of a loss is that you've got a lot to work on.
True.
You know what I mean? You got the
Yeah.
tape to review, you get back, pull up the bootstraps, as they say.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they say in America. I found out that's an American state.
That's exactly how all players
Pull
think.
up the
Wow, I
bootstraps.
lost. This is great. I got a lot of material.
Yeah, I bet.
You got a big positive. Anyway,
That's
it's
exactly
time.
what you think.
It's time for the interview. Johnny has KSF, I believe, down on the floor in
On
his
the floor,
bedroom,
in
wherever
his
he is.
bedroom.
Anyway, take it away, Johnny.
I am technically in my kitchen, but yes, thank you very much, Bren. There's a nice backdrop behind me, so you wouldn't know. Thank you, Bren. Yes, I'm here with KSF after a relatively smooth win. against the Boston Uprising. How were you able to bounce back from yesterday's loss?
Honestly, yesterday's loss was kind of like a comp difference. We never played in scrims against like the BAP Zen or the Brig Zen comp, and it really just, we could not play against it. Like it hard counter. We were practicing all week, and what was working all week for us in scrims was like the BAP Brig, and we had a lot of success on that. But coming in today, we were like, I mean, screw all the practice this week. We just want to play the best comp that we can play. So we played the dive with the Zen Brig, and it worked out for us on like one scrimmer practice on it. So
yeah, what it looked pretty polished, especially with Shax popping off on the Tracer, pretty hard. Does that change the way you play Genji? Because some games you play with KSP and he's on the Ashe, and sometimes you play with Shax and he's on the Tracer. Does that change the way you play Genji with those two players?
Yeah, you have to play a little bit different of a style with the Tracer. Like, you're more looking for dives with the Tracer Winston, but when we have the Ashe, I'm more like looking for like solo plays and like flank stuff. It was definitely like really hard. I feel like I could do nothing in the Atlanta match, honestly. Pretty useless, but this game kind of free.
Did it help that you had actually like data on the Boston Uprising, because obviously they played yesterday? Were you able to prepare in a new way for this matchup because you knew what the Boston Uprising were bringing?
A little bit. Honestly, we just played our game. We knew if we just played our game and played like okay, it would be a roll, so we just played what we could do.
Yeah.
Played our game.
Well, it was pretty smooth for the most part, but that assault map...
Okay, I hard through Hanamura. I'll own up to it, I hard through Hanamura. That was on me, but then we full held, so it doesn't matter. Like, we stayed in it.
Okay, but talk me through it. You know, what went wrong for the Valiant? You say you hard through, but can you explain a little bit what went wrong?
You see, my first death, I went for an assassination kill on Color Hex, and he was just too aware of it. Hit the deflect right click cancel. I got one tapped, and then I actually hit, and I'll say it, I hit an AKM blade. I hit it. Okay. Yeah, I got bladed like 1 minute. I'll say it, but nah. I mean, we full held. It doesn't matter. We just like regained in between the rounds, said we could full hold, and did it. So.
Hey, you said it. I didn't say it. You said it. So at least we have it out there anyway. So, you know, going into the next matchup as well, what do you really have to work on? Like, what do you think you as the Valiant could improve upon to regain some of that status within the league?
We just need to be more consistent in matches. Like, our scrims honestly have been like really well, but in matches, like, we've seen a lot of like not weird comps, but honestly, like the Atlanta match, we kind of lost the like scrim roulette. Like, we didn't play against any teams that played that like the Brig Zen comp, and going into the match, like, we had no clue how to play against it. Like, we were lost. But honestly, we just need to be more consistent in matches and like show what we can really do, and like what we can do in scrims on stage, and that's how we do that.
Do you think that was because it was the first week of hero pools and that's why a lot of teams played different stuff, or do you think that it's truly like a meta where you can play a lot of different compositions? Do you think that over time we'll only see one or two type of compositions, or do you think that you can actually play like a lot of different type of compositions in this meta?
I think it's just because it was the first week, because I think there is like one really good comp, and I think it's the dive Brig Zen comp. I feel like that's one of the best in this hero pool. But we'll just see, honestly, as time goes on, how the meta evolves.
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you so much for joining me here at KSF for an interview. Good, congratulations, of course, on your win today. And now, good luck on your match moving forward. But for now, we have the Watchpoint post show coming up. I know the games are done. Bren is done on the couch as well. But we got the post show crew coming up as well. It's me, Zoe, and Costa, and we're going to wrap up all the matches. So once again, thank you, KSF. Stay tuned for the break, and I'll see you on the other side.